Hello there and welcome to Loki Collectibles. Right, here I have quite a cool book actually. I'm quite fond of this one. When I first got it I thought, oh, it's a bit boring. But only because of the cover. Actually inside, if you actually take the time to read it, it is quite knowledgeable. Really good, you know, if you're a dealer in toys, that type of thing. You know, I'm not sure if you're a big-headed toy collector who thinks you know everything. I've been doing it for years and years and I thought I knew everything. Originally, plastic toys, you know, they were discarded as rubbish. In recent years I've been going to auction houses. Plastic toys now are starting to take over a lot of the die-cast vintage makes like Dinky, Corgi. Plastic seems to be the new collectible. It's getting really sought after in auction houses, you know, stuff like that. Quite surprising really. You know, if you're a new collector, you know, I'm not just being horrible to old guys, but I have a friend and he was big into auction houses and he used to take the mickey out of the plastic toys, but they are really coming of age at the moment. Let's try and see exactly what's in this book. Right, I apologise for my camera, it's a little bit wobbly at the minute. Right. Forward, blah de blah. Just say loads and loads. It's quite surprising some of these companies who did make plastic models. Some of them are really nice. Norev ones are really nice. I've been selling those for years. They're really nice ones. Like the electric Jaguar. What was nice about the plastic models is you can do more detail with plastic than you can do with die-cast. So why they were discarded originally as absolute junk, I think collectors are actually seeing them for what they really were, and they were pretty detailed things around the time. Like that. That's really cool, you know, it looks like a bit of art now, but originally would have been rubbish. Called the Glass Car. Price guide £35, you know, probably about right, but they're really going through the roof at the minute. Pally toy little one there, 30. These ones were quite basic, these. Ever Ready, that's quite a cool battery one. I think it's supposed to look like a Rolls Royce or something like that. I'm not quite sure if that's quite, but some nice ones. I'll just show you some of the pictures. It is a really good read. You know, get familiar with some of the brands who made these, you know, what ones are going for. Like Wells Brim Toy, originally those would have made tin plate ones, you know, Clockwork, Penguins, that type of thing, but when, you know, tin plate was starting to die out, they started to go into plastic, probably easier to manufacture, that type of thing. So that's quite a good make. Let's say that Jaguar there, that's cool, that is, it really is nice. I'd buy something like that. £75, that's about right. Here we've got Mark's Motorway Toys, £10 each. You know, they're probably worth more than that now. We got triang ones here. I apologise for that, didn't it? Right, just some really nice models in here. It's a really good book. As I say, when I knew plastic was starting to go crazy in the prices, looking at some of the old Lego cars, you know, I remember my mum giving them all away to a charity shop, and now looking at the price of the little old plastic Lego cars, what they're going for is just silly. Now look at these. You know, I don't know if you can see the picture here. This is a Norev Land Rover Expedition from the 60's. Really nice, the detail. £65 that's worth, yeah, and I would say the pricing here are absolutely spot on. I would even say that going and looking at some of the prices like Vectors and stuff like that, a lot of these prices are actually worth a lot more than these are saying now. You say plastic seems to be very fashionable at the minute. You know, I'm just trying to help people out a little bit. I've been collecting a long time and I don't want to, you know, be big-headed or anything like that, but you know, I'm sick of watching these programs on TV and, you know, antiques programs and whatever, you know, dishing things like Franklin Mint and plastic, you know, everything seems to have to be German or British and it has to be metal to be worth money. It's not the case at all. You know, personally myself, you know, I would not invest in Corgi, I would not invest in Dinky, you know. I think a lot of these models have hit their ceiling, that type of thing. I would really go for some of these unusual mates. That's what I used to do. I did eBay for 12 years and I used to buy the unusual. And I made a lot of money from it. It's all down to finding things in collectibles which are cheap at the time and are really soaring through prices. It's like I used to buy a company called Mini Champs, and at the time I used to be able to go to auction houses and get them for £5 a piece, and they were, you know, really starting to climb, you know, in value. But now I can't buy Mini Champs for love or money. You know, auction houses cheap enough. So it's just about, you know, getting into a market quick enough, you know, you can see changing. That's the best way, you know, to make money out of toys. You know, I would say, you know, 80s, 90s action figures, you know, that's another one, you know. Get those type of things cheap enough, just put them away. what I normally find with collectibles, right, is toys you normally had, you know, when you was 12, 15 years age. Normally you give them about 20 years, then people, you know, then get jobs and stuff like that. That's when the value goes. So normally it's about 20 years, and then they start peaking. Some of these are cool anyway. I'm probably just waffling, I'm just showing you some of the pictures. A really, really cool book. You know, it's really worth owning this if you're, you know, an eBay seller or something like that. This is actually worth its weight in gold, because it will probably shock you. You know, you'd probably see stuff like this at a car boot and just walk past, because you're not familiar with the names. And this isn't me having a dig at anyone. You know, I used to be new to collectibles. You know, I had to teach my elder brother, you know, the mates and stuff like that, and he'd walk past half of these mates, because everyone is just so listens to all these antique programs on the TV. You know, they don't show these mates. You know, even, you know, you'd watch things like porn stars on the TV, even things like that. You know, they're not knowledgeable about proper collectibles. You know, I've been to an auction house before, and I remember, I'll never forget this. I spent £26, no word of a lie, on some old Russian models, and I think I got 2,500, 3,500, something like that back from them, because people didn't know the makes. That's all it was, and they were highly collectible. And that's basically it. You know, everyone else was in the auction house, you know, buying all these corgis and things like that, and dolls, just because of the make. It's not always about the make, it's about research. Anyway, thanks for looking. Bye bye.